The University of Missouri-Kansas City Institute for Human Development, in partnership with the Missouri Developmental Disabilities Council, presents After Abuse, Resources to Guide Missourians with Disabilities. Video 4 in the 4-part series is What Happens Next? Going to Court. Going to court can sometimes feel scary. It is helpful to know what to expect so you can prepare yourself. People like victim advocates can help you.
My role as a victim advocate is to provide direct support and services to a victim of a crime. The services that a crime victim advocate will usually provide for a victim is information about the court process, information about what their rights are as a crime victim. They will assist them with crime victims' compensation, with any of the different types of community referrals that may be a good resource for them, counseling. Sometimes it involves changing locks on doors, all different kinds of community resources that we may plug into to make sure that that victim gets what they need. We also are able to assist with orders of protection in the adult abuse office if that is an appropriate step to take for that victim. So victim advocates have an opportunity to form a relationship with that victim that helps them to be able to navigate, especially the criminal justice system aspect. When I first meet a victim, I will want them to know everything that they should know about their rights so that they can advocate for themselves, as well as my ability to advocate for them. I would want them to know about the various steps of the criminal justice process, about how we can assist someone who may not easily understand the questions that are being asked of them. We can help connect them with the prosecutor who will be able to explore the situation, the trauma they've experienced in a way that is sensitive and that helps them to get the answers to the questions that they really need to ask. And sometimes that means rewording a question. There are many different ways in which a victim may access a victim advocate. There's definitely no cost for any of the services provided by a victim advocate, whether in a community program or within a prosecutor's office. We always wait to see what format the defense is going to take in terms of their approach to the case. The defendant gets to make the request for a jury trial or to have their case heard by the judge.
Before a case goes to trial, there may be several times where meetings or hearings are held in court to decide certain matters with the judge. During these meetings, the judge may respond to formal requests, called motions, that the attorneys made to request certain evidence or conditions for the upcoming trial. There will also be a meeting in court weeks or months before the actual trial, called a preliminary hearing. This is where the prosecutor shows his evidence, and the judge decides whether there is enough evidence for the case to go to trial. If your case goes to trial, it can be scary. To help you prepare, we'll take you into the courtroom for a tour.
This is a very large courtroom in a large city. Courtrooms vary from area to area, county to county, and may be varying in size, the number of seating available, as well as the layout of the room. But this is a good courtroom for an example of where everyone will be when you enter into this room for a court hearing. We're standing right now in what's considered the gallery section. There are benches, sometimes there will be chairs depending on the courthouse that you're in. The judge is front and center. You will see behind the bench at the highest point in the courtroom where the judge is able to make all decisions and see and hear everything that's taking place. To the right of the judge is the court clerk who will take any evidence that's presented to be tagged, will file all the motions and look up any information that the judge may need. In the center of the room, in front of the judge, is the court reporter. The court reporter has a little machine that they will type into and they will then transcribe upon the completion of the hearing or the trial. In the front of the courtroom, we have 2 tables with chairs on each side of a podium. One of the tables will house the defense, his or her lawyer, and then we have the prosecutor's table who will assist in the presentation of the case to the judge or to the jury. And then here we have the bailiff's desk.
My job as a bailiff, first of all, is to make sure the judge is safe. Second part of my job is to secure the courtroom and make sure everybody's in place.
As a participant in the process here, we have to be very quiet. No outbursts are allowed, and we are here to listen and to participate. The victim advocate will sit with the victim. Usually it's in a bench that is closest to the prosecutor, so that if there are any questions or any information that needs to be shared, that can happen.
When we have victims that's been abused, or any other victim that comes in there, we have what they call a private room where they can sit in, they can relax, they can get their thoughts together. And then that way, it kind of takes away the distraction of coming into this big courtroom. And when that time is right, I go get the victim, I explain to them what's going on, how it works, guide them to the courtroom. That way, they can be a little relaxed and we can go ahead with the trial.
As we walk around the courtroom, you'll see to the left of the judge is the jury seating. There will usually be 12 jurors in that jury box if it's a jury trial.
Step 1 is jury selection. The attorneys choose 12 local people as the jury. They will hear what the victim and the witnesses have to say and decide if the abuser is guilty. Step 2 is opening arguments. This is where the prosecutor talks about the case and shows the evidence. The defense may also give an opening speech saying why the abuser is not guilty. In Step 3, attorneys call witnesses. This is someone who has seen or heard something about what happened. Witnesses may include the victim and the abuser. Each attorney gets a chance to ask each witness questions about what happened.
To the left of the judge's bench is the witness chair. When an individual is called in to testify, they will be sworn in by the clerk, and then they will take the stand to testify.
In Step 4, closing arguments, the prosecutor and the defense attorney take turns summarizing the case. They say why the jury or judge should believe what they showed in court. Step 5 is jury instruction. The judge will explain to the jurors how to review the case. The judge will discuss the laws to think about as jurors consider what they heard and saw in court. Step 6 is deliberation. This is where the jury leaves the courtroom to discuss and decide whether the person charged should be found guilty based on the evidence shown in court. With Step 7, the verdict, the jury makes a decision. Court will go back into a session and the juror chosen to lead the process, known as the jury foreman, announces the jury's decision. If the jury cannot reach a decision after a reasonable time, it is considered a hung jury and the case will have to be retried. If the jury returns with a guilty verdict, then Step 8, sentencing, will come a few weeks after the trial. The judge will decide what punishment the abuser will receive. And just as in court, your victim advocate will be by your side to help you through the process.
I would want anyone who's been a victim of abuse to know that there are folks in your communities who do care and will be there to help you. It may mean that you might need to locate them. If they have no knowledge that you were abused, it means that you have to take that first step. And I would ask that you just have the courage to ask someone.
Funding for After Abuse, Resources to Guide Missourians with Disabilities, is provided by the Missouri Developmental Disabilities Council. This video has been created by the University of Missouri-Kansas City Institute for Human Development. The After Abuse Project is for people with disabilities and their allies, developed with the support of experts in the field of adult protective services and the disability community. For their help in making this video series possible, special thanks go to Leslie Albrecht, Caleb Brashear, Gary Jackson, Julie Salih, Sarah Spruill, Kathleen Tofall, and Christopher Robin Judson Worth. Additional tools and resources are available at afterabusmoguide.com. Copyright 2023 by the curators of the University of Missouri.